Hello, Dr. Tim, Ian, Russ, and Brandon. My name is Tiffany Timmons. And yes, I am a graduate of the University of Kentucky eons ago. You guys are busy, so I'm going to get right to it. I want to be very specific about the proposal I have for you in Utter Advertising and how it would work and what you would get out of it. And first, I want to share a quick story with you about my friends, Bob and Andrea. Well, Bob and Andrea are a fantastic couple, and I worked years with Bob. And long before I ever got married, I used to go into his office when I was in corporate America, and we'd solve all the problems of the world. And I would ask him, I'd say, Bob, what is it that it takes to make a great marriage? What do I need to know as I'm looking for a husband? He'd say, Tiffany, Andrea and I made a decision when we got married that she would make all the small decisions and I would make all the big decisions. He'd say, after 15 years of marriage, there's never been a big decision. Vincent van Gogh says that great artistry is not done quickly, but by the combination of small things coming together. And my leadership proposal to you is similar to Van Gogh and to Bob and Andrea's philosophy on things. It's not a silver bullet. It's not a one-day workshop that's going to make everything great. It's the consistency of staying focused with an outside voice to help you work together better as a team. Now, I don't know if you're like other teams I've worked with, but let me tell you a little bit about other leadership teams that I've worked with through the years. Many of them have a challenge because of generational differences. They have a challenge because of gender differences. They have a challenge because of simple ideas and how to get from point A to point B. And how do they maintain accountability and focus through these challenges? Well, the good news is that there is a leadership process that you can adopt that will take all these differences and leverage them for your benefit. Now, this proposal is probably unlike anything you've ever seen, and that's because the process is more comprehensive and adapts to your situation more than any other program out there. Is it simple? Well, I actually thought of that myself. We would be using this process called You're Leading Now. It's a 6-step strategy to building and leading a dynamic team. And what is a dynamic team? A dynamic team achieves the vision of the leaders. A dynamic team is accountable. They're responsible. They've got each other's backs. They're trustworthy. They're working towards the same goal. And yes, they work through conflict. Conflict can be a good thing if we know how to work through it for our strength. So the question is it simple? Well, I actually write in here, and this book is all written in rhyme. The process is simple, not easy to do. You can bet on results if you see it all through. So simple, small decisions, yes, small pieces of our talent in the artwork like Van Gogh, yes, but these small pieces are what's going to come together to create the masterpiece that you all have in mind. So my proposal to you is a day-long session in person where I would come to Louisville and we would kick off this program to set the foundation. And then we would also go through step 1 that's here in the book. Now, yes, it's all written in rhyme, but each step has content or is very content rich and gives you many tools, which is why we have a toolbox on the front that you'll be able to use together. And I know that the leadership team is now 4 and it's all male. However, that's not going to stay the case forever. As you continue to grow, this leadership process is one that you can start to disseminate down to every leader in the organization. You'll understand the power of it and why that's important. So after we would do our kickoff, we would then meet every other week via Zoom or another video tool if you have one that you prefer. And you would get a video of the step along with all the tools that go with that step before we get together. Now, these live video calls give us the chance to talk about what we've learned. Is it working or not working? And I absolutely encourage those things that don't work. because the only way that we're going to succeed is by failing a lot. So I'd read recently a psychologist who said, if you want to succeed faster, double your failure rate. So when it comes to leadership and communication on a team, if we can double that failure rate, we're going to get along much sooner than we would than if we didn't. Now, the investment is also going to surprise you. So I've written down a proposal in the attachment that I'm sending to you. Now, if you look at this and say, we want more, we want less, that's what's great about this program. It's so adaptable to you and your situation. We can turn up the volume or we can turn it down. There is a limit though to how much we can turn it down, because I want to make sure it works for you. And I've seen enough companies that try to dial down too much and not invest the time. And what happens at the end of it? They didn't get exactly what they wanted. But those that give 100% participation to the program are shocked at the results that they see, because of the communication that the team can now adopt amongst themselves with their employees and with their outside clients and other business contacts. So from here, if you're interested in moving forward or learning more about it, I suggest that we set up a quick phone call where your questions can be answered and mine can be answered as well. And I've had the chance to speak with Russ and Dr. Tim, and I got a lot of my questions answered, and yet there's still more, because we want to make sure this is the right fit. Now, the right fit is extremely important, because the right fit means that it's going to be focused, inspired, and taking action. So I need to be the right fit for you, and you need to be the right fit for me. And then we customize the program specific to what you want. Regardless of whether you work with me or not, I absolutely recommend, though, that you bring in somebody who has a different take on it than you have in your current group, because that outside opinion is really going to bring much more clarity to what you're doing. You know, there's a saying that I always like to start off training with that for years, we've all been saying this: knowledge gives you power. Knowledge can give you power, but what really gives you power is clarity. And having the right outside voice that's going to help bring clarity to you and your team, watch out. Where you're going to go from here is unbelievable. And if I get to be part of that with you, then so be it. And if not, I wish you the best. And if there is anything that I can do to help you, I hope to be part of it. Until next time, I'm Tiffany Timmons, wife, mother, author, and speaker, and humble trainer who wants you to get out of training what you need so that you can create a dynamic team.